Hey guys, Esports John here. Today we are covering Jaedong versus Flash from the ACL. You guys may remember this match. It was in the final week between NeOx and Mu. It was a very important match because it kind of decided who was going to get the lead. NeOx and Mu by far were the leading teams during the entire Clan League. This particular match was very, very important. So, this is on Destination. The important context here is that it's very easy to get those first 4 bases on Destination. So what we're going to see is Flash is going to go for a big mech wall push and just kind of slowly push across the map. Jaedong is going to go for a pretty interesting timing attack. So just setting that up for you guys, let's get into the game. This is from the perspective of Jaedong, so you get to see all the flashing mechanics that go along with that. God, he's so fast, it's actually insane. The difference between, like, when you look at Jaedong play versus someone like Effort or even Larva to some degree, is that Jaedong he sees a lot of screens. His camera's constantly jumping around. He's really good at double tapping, really good at using his camera hotkeys. So you'll see that he constantly has vision around the map, and he's able to respond to things much quicker than some of the other players. Even if they match as APM, Jaedong is just seeing more overall. We see that Jaedong is going for a little bit of a non-standard opening. He's going for this 9-pool overpool, 9-pool overpool, instead of the standard hatch first. And that may just be because this is a 2-player map. It's very easy to, the rush distance is pretty short, so it's pretty easy to proxy a 2-racks either on that high ground area over by the 3rd, or you can even do it on the low ground mineral, or, well, it's not even, the low ground expansion on the right side just outside of Jaedong's main. Both of those places are solid. You can even honestly just like build the barracks at home and walk the Marines across the map because it's such a short map. You see, Jaedong is prepared for everything. He's got the 2 Zerglings out, the 2 sets of Zerglings out, which are going to be able to push away any kind of pressure. He sees that the barracks is at home, nothing to be worried about now, so he's just going to be trying to look to cut off this SCV most likely. Oh no, he's actually trying to be sneaky and run the Lings around. He does cut off the SCV temporarily, which is pretty nice. The rest of his Lings are going to go into the natural and maybe try to pick off the first Marine that came out. This is really nice, splitting out the Zerglings to deny this SCV scout. This makes it so annoying for the Terran because they can't figure out what you're doing early on. You see instantly, as soon as he denies the scouting, it throws on the instant Hydro Den, which means he's probably going to be going for early lurker play to put pressure on the Terran before they can get that critical mass of bio out. But as we're going to see, it's not really a big deal for Flash because he's going to be going pretty much straight into mech, not even worrying about dealing with anything else. Actually, he hasn't even gotten the lair yet, so that's a bit surprising. I expected him to go for the lair first. Like he was looking for some sort of Hydra bust. Already this is a little bit unusual, a little bit non-standard to get that Hydra Den so early, but it looks like maybe he's afraid of some sort of 1-base play as well. Maybe that's just intuition, knowing this map is very frequently a mech map, and more than likely, you know, you can see something like something weird like a Vulture drop play or like 2-port Wraith coming out early. So, interesting opening from Jaedong so far. He's going to be able to defend any sort of incoming attacks pretty nicely. He's really looking for the second Overlord to get in and get a scout on what's going on. He checked, he didn't see many Marines, so he's pretty sure it's going to be some sort of tech play. He's just not quite sure what it is yet. He sees the expansion now, so he knows it's not going to be some sort of crazy all-in. He sees the command center. It's really just a matter of dealing with whatever comes next. I'm not totally sold on this fast Hydra opening, the blind Hydra opening, because he's wasted so much larva on units that his drone count is really, really low, and his lair is quite late as a result. He is going to be able to keep continuing to contain Flash within his base. Going to be able to force the landing, and actually this is really nice timing. He sees that the vultures have run by, so he's actually just going to try to break this wall with what he has. So very clever use of his units to get the most out of what he can. As you see the units just like not listening to what he's doing, but Flash barely gets the bunker up in time. He's going to lose a couple SCVs, but it's really not that big of a deal overall because Flash is going to stay alive. This isn't going to do critical damage. Jaedong barely takes down the bunker, and he's going to be able to kill that last Marine. But it's not a big deal for Flash. He doesn't mind losing a couple SCVs. He doesn't mind losing his Marines early on because he is going to be going for that camping mech style, where he just gets the 4 bases and slowly pushes across the map. So more vultures running by. Jaedong continuing this aggression. It's a little questionable at this point. You actually walk up that ramp, but it does again kind of keep Flash stuck in his base. And these vultures are going to get a couple kills. They only got, I think, like 2 or 3 drones there, but still, it's still pretty good. I honestly think that Flash could have pushed all the way across the map with those first 3 or 4 vultures, but instead he decided to bring them back defensively. I'm wondering if that was a mistake, or if he was actually really worried that he might die there. But either way, we see that Jaedong is still trying to do this containment, but once siege mode finishes, he's going to be pushed out of here. It's not really going to be a big deal for Flash to deal with. There we go, and siege mode is finished, so these Hydras are going to be pushed out. But look how low drone count is. This is what I was talking about earlier. You spend so much money on these early Hydras that you just don't have the drone count to actually get where you need to be. Smart decision to take that early third. Knowing that Flash is going to be going for this camping playstyle, it's going to take him a long time to build up a force to actually get across the map. But he can go ahead and take that third. And these couple of Hydras will be able to deal with any sorts of small vulture pushes that come his way. It's really only the big pushes that he has to really worry about. There is the possibility for a dangerous timing with a few tanks and a lot of Goliaths. Yeah, but he has the proper tech to deal with it so far, and I think once he gets the third hatch up, it's not too hard to defend against that if you're saving your larva up correctly. But we see that he's already switching into the mutas, so he's going to force out more Goliaths. He's going to keep the Terran player home. If he were just building drones right now, there's definitely a possibility that Flash just makes more Goliaths and push across the map to win the game. With the Mutalists, he kind of forces the Terran player to stay home and defend his SCVs, because his third base for Jaedong is somewhat expendable with this Mutalist play. You can do this Mutalist play, and if Flash pushes across the map, he can trade out SCVs for that third base. It's not really a big deal for him. So we see the first couple of Mutalists coming in. Missile turrets are already up. Flash is so good about getting these missile turret timings perfectly. He's got Sharon boosters already finished for his Goliaths as well, so he's going to be able to hold off this Mutalist push pretty well. The best that Jaedong can hope for is just keeping his opponent pinned back, and maybe dealing a little bit of economic damage to the SCVs, killing off a couple of these missile turrets. But it looks like he's actually going to go in here and trade very aggressively with these Goliaths. It's a bit surprising to see Jaedong do this, but like I said earlier, it's very dangerous overall. Once the Terran gets a large enough ground army up, they can push across the map pretty early. He snipes all those siege tanks, wow. A little questionable if it's worth that many mutas, but we do see that killing off those tanks makes it so much harder for Flash to push across the map with some sort of early ground push. He's going to have to invest in a couple more tanks after he invests in a couple more Goliaths to deal with these Mutalists. So, very annoying, very obnoxious to deal with. But he's actually getting more missile turrets. This is a very smart response from Flash, getting, instead of, since he still needs the anti-air to deal with the Mutalists, he's going to make the missile turrets while he builds tanks. And this is really smart. Now that Jaedong has killed off those tanks at the natural, he knows that he can push in here with a couple of Hydralisks and do some damage to the mineral line, maybe pick off this gas. He is going to be able to pick off that gas, maybe. Didn't actually kill it. I hope it doesn't get repaired. That'd be like the biggest facepalm ever if you just forgot to use the last 2 or 3 attacks to kill that. Oh, nice. Nice little pick off on that Goliath. So we see that Jaedong is going for this kind of non-standard CVT composition of Mutalist Hydra. This is a little bit more standard against mech, but typically you want to go into that hive tech. Since you can't actually bust this, usually there's a bigger focus on the upgrades and trying to get up to that hive tech so you can start getting the cracklings, you can start getting drops and things like that. But Jaedong is focusing really heavily on getting lots and lots of Hydralisks to supplement his army. I like that he's keeping all of these Hydras at the front to just sort of prevent any sort of vulture counterattacks from coming in and harassing his mineral line. He's also got a couple over his third base to make sure that no vulture shenaniganry goes down. Sees that the first vessel is coming out right now, so he knows that this is going to be a pretty much Goliath tank mech army with a couple of science vessels. What Jaedong's going to be looking for is when does there's like nowhere to put that hatchery. Oh god, it's like the one time you have problems placing buildings with Zerg, otherwise it's usually super easy. So Jaedong looks like he might want to snipe one of those early science vessels. He's going to be able to push away these vultures for now, prevent them from getting any... Oh, that's awkward. They just kind of walked past. This is what a Hydra here is being the guard. He's going to be able to snipe that. He's taking his 4th right now, so he's going to have... Jaedong is going to have a lot of economy coming up soon to deal with this. And smart, again, he sees the scouting vulture and he's going to split up his Hydras to make sure he kills it off. So, impeccable play from Jaedong so far, just keeping Flash in dark at what he's doing and preventing any sort of these harassing vultures from getting in. They are going to get in right now. I see 3, 4, 5 drones go down. That's a little bit painful, but honestly, with the hatchery count that Jaedong has now, it's much harder. And by the way, you see that first queen come out. This is going to be the final step of Jaedong's composition. So far, he's been using these Mutalisks and the Hydralisks to just kind of ward things away. And slowly he's going to build up this queen count, and it looks like he's probably going to go for a Queen Hydra bust on this mech army before Flash is able to get up that critical 4 base economy. You see Flash is already pushing out right now. He's got control over this ridge and the by his 4th base. He's going to probably start building missile turrets, make it very difficult to get on top of the army with the Mutalisks or drops. But Jaedong just playing really smart, just completely sidestepping that problem of having to drop or do crazy tech switches. He's just going to go straight into the queens. Like I said earlier, the normal thing to do, you normally see with this sort of play, is you typically see the Zerg player going for that hive, going for upgrades and drops so they can get those cracklings in on there. But very smart play from Jaedong. He's going to go for the queens. Those are going to be his ultra cost-efficient units in this game. And so you see he's massing up overlords right now. He's going to be putting his cap pretty high while he builds these queens, and then he's just going to build a ton of Hydras. He's going to blast out as many Hydras as possible coming out soon. You see Overlord speed is finished, so he's going to be go ahead and scouting out. I believe he just started the hive. Keeps changing his little hotkeys and little confused at what's going on there, but it'll be fine. So he's spreading this out. He's getting lots of vision. He's trying to see where he can start this concave, and where the mine starts so that he can get in here. He sees the first, he sees where this initial line is. He's going to try to snipe a couple of these science vessels, and this is mostly just to get vision and get an idea of where the Terran army is, how they're spread out, etc. Again, you see him just checking the energy on the queens. He just wants to make sure how much energy those queens have while he sets up for this attack. So here come more and more Hydras. He's probably going to be looking to go near max with this. At the very least, the supply goal is probably about 150. But he's gonna need a little bit more time to actually reach that goal. He's still only at 123. At the very least, maybe 130 for this break. You can see he's still just fanning out. He's waiting for his +1 or +2 upgrades. Not quite exactly sure. I believe I saw Jaedong's lands going down there, so that's very good for Jaedong. It means that once he moves past this initial stage, he can flood with speedlings and clean things up. Because mostly what Terran is going to be remaking is tanks and Goliaths. They're not necessarily the vultures. You know? Because if you don't make the Goliaths, then you become very vulnerable to a Mutilist tech switch. He's at 137, and the queens are now high energy. Looks like he's probably going to be getting ready to go right now. He's at 138. So this is go time for Jaedong. He knows this is the time to go. He's also got his Scourge. They're going to be trying to pick off a couple of these science vessels, or at least scout. So he's spreading out the queens right now. And just beautiful arc on these Hydralisks. He's going to be pushing in now. He's lit up his queens to pick off the tanks in the back. Still macroing immaculately, and I think he's actually broken this. He's actually broken through that tank line. There's only a couple tanks left. He's broken through this bottom area as well. Even the SCV is being pulled off the line, and that's the end. That's the end for Jaedong. Here's the GG. The very immaculate timing there with his Mutalisks, or sorry, with those queens. Like I was saying earlier, the normal way that the Zerg players deal with that is they just go drop pressure and try to drop on either side of the map. But Jaedong brilliantly comes up with a different way to break that, going for a big timing attack with those Hydra Queen. Not a lot of people were expecting this, so this was a very exciting game of the ACL. Excellent game from Jaedong, very well thought out strategy, very well executed. Fortunately, Flash falls, but Flash being Flash, will probably come back stronger next time. Thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this cast, please like and subscribe down below. You can also follow me on Twitter at esportsjohn, and I will see you guys on the next cast. Later.